Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to discuss regarding Microsoft Endpoint Manager compliance policy. Um, Intune has a compliance where you can deploy the compliance policy to your device and check for devices based on the compliance policy you have and mark it either as compliant and uncompliant. Currently, since my environment is hybrid, I'm using ECCM. Currently, my environment running in ECCM to check for the compliance, but we can also take a look how we can leverage Intune to use Intune to deploy the compliance policy and to check for devices if there are any based on configuration we discussed earlier in the topic, previous topic. If they are made those requirements. Basically, it's each organization as required their user device should meet their security compliance policy before accessing their application in the network. So let's get started. So the overview will be overview of compliance rules in ECCM. We'll discuss how the compliance work in the current ECCM. Then we'll see switch compliance policy from ECCM to Intune. Then we will discuss how to configure compliance policies with Intune. And also we'll check how we can leverage conditional access with Intune with compliance policy. And last, we will check the Microsoft 365 Compliance Manager, where you can have extra compliance from available regulatory compliance you can use that the organization fall under to run deploy against your devices, and you'll get a dashboard and get a score number how that works. So let's get started. So the ECCM compliance policy is to monitor, report, and remediate device configurations. You can use group policy to configure security on your devices. Then you can use ECCM compliance policy to check if those configurations completed and the device are compliant. You can still use ECCM compliance with Intune. We will discuss that later. So you can once you move to Intune, but still you can use ECCM, also check for the compliance. And you can, there's some options in Intune. You can also set that device should meet also ECCM compliance. Here's the first step is, okay. So let me go take a look overview of the ECCM compliance, how that works. So in ECCM, if you navigate to Asset Compliance and compliance settings, we have configuration items. I guess everyone's, if you're familiar with in ECCM, you already know how the ECCM compliance configuration items and configuration baseline works. Configuration item is based off the compliance policy created for each. And configuration baseline is a combination of multiple configuration items and to deploy them to a specific collections which contains a device. For example, these are the compliance item I have CCM exec service installed. If I go to properties, and this is the supported platforms I'm targeting, and the settings, if you click edit, this is the CCM exec service installed. I give it the name, click edit the script. So here we have either a script to run into the settings. You can choose, look for the file, look for registry keys, or you can run a script. So I'm running a script, get wmy inventory to service where the name equal to CCM exec. If the service is null, so right host false or right host true. So if it's exist, it's a Boolean, so it will become true. If not, it will become false. And the compliance, I'm editing that get the, if this compliant, so the value should be, if the value is true, so make it as compliant. If not, then make it as a non-compliant. Then I'm coming back to, in order to deploy this one, I need to create a configuration baseline, example this one. Then I deploy to the collection. See, I selected 2 configuration items. Then I selected to this collection. You can also look for this collection here, and it shows 40% compliant. And if you want to see a status, it's showing these 2 devices showing compliant. So these 2, my client is showing device is compliant because I installed the CCM exec agent is there. Okay, so now coming back to the so with the Intune, you can deploy your security hardening or any security configuration through a group policy into your devices. Then you can use ECCM compliance and look for that if they're correctly configured, if how you want it, then it'll show the compliant, non-compliant. So now we want to switch our compliance policy from ECCM to Intune. So we need to navigate to Intune, administration, cloud attach, click property. I already have it here. Under workload. So here I need to move this to pilot Intune. Since I'm using a pilot collection, I need to switch to pilot Intune. Then I need to go staging and see the compliance policy need to specify the my collection. If I move to Intune only, then I don't need to specify this collection because right now I'm only going as on the pilot. I'm targeting some few devices on a specific collection. I'm going to click apply. It's taking time. Once I click, okay, it's completed, and now I'm going to make it faster. What I'm going to do is go to my collection. I'm going to right click and client notification. I'm going to download computer policy. So it will go and refresh the policy on these devices. So it will look for the it will Intune the policy to be delivered from Intune. But as I mentioned, we can use ECCM compliance also. We can deploy it to the devices and still can get the compliant result, and the result if you want to get either device is compliant and compliant based on how you created your configuration items. You can do it, but we're going to leverage Intune to deploy the compliance policy. But there's also, as I mentioned, that we're still an Intune. We can specify if look for the also the CCM, if the CCM compliance is also compliant. Then, for example, if you create a policy and in Intune, you can. I'll show you. Let's go do an example. Take a look. So compliance policy with Intune, basically it helps organization to protect their data from their user device by using Intune compliance policy to meet their compliance security compliance. Compliance policy in Intune, you can configure compliance policy rules and settings that organization user device must meet to be compliant. These rules all action, which will check user device against compliance rule that being set by the organization and mark them as a compliant or non-compliant. Can be used with conditional access, which can then block users and devices that don't meet the rules. There are 2 parts to compliance policy in Intune. One is compliance policy setting. This is 10 and white settings. As you can see in the screenshot, I will show you. This is 10 and white if the device, marked device with no compliance policy as a compliant or non-compliant, or you can devices for the mobile devices, if they're jailbroken, you can disable that. If the device is compliant after some period days, then you can mark them as a non-compliant. And this is the actual device level compliance policy based on the platform. You can see, I'll show you. You can create the rules and settings to deploy. For example, if you want to make sure the device is encrypted, Defender is enabled, then you can mark them as either compliant or compliant. Then we can use conditional access in Intune. So basically, when the device is enrolled to Azure AD in Intune, it will look for the send the data reports compliance report to the Azure AD, and looks if the compliance is complaint. If the compliance policy we can deploy it from Intune, if the status comes as compliant, the Azure AD Conditional Access will mark it as compliant and enable access to that device to get access to whatever application we targeted. If it doesn't meet, it will block it. The last thing is the Microsoft 365 Compliance Manager. It's another portal where we can see all the is it a feature Microsoft 365 Compliance Center that helps you manage organization compliance requirement with greater ease and convenience. It's a comprehensive set of templates creating assessment. These templates can help your organization comply with national, regional, and industry-specific requirements governing the collection and use of data. Templates are added to Compliance Manager as new laws and regulation are enacted. Compliance Manager also updates its templates when the underlying laws or regulation change. So here I have the link. We will go there after I'll show you how this looks. And here's a quick snapshot of it. And these are the links I provided here. I'll share this documentation below on the description. You can go through and check yourself. So since I switch our compliance policy from ACCM to Intune, let me go to here, the portal. So before, these are two links that you can, this is a Microsoft documentation about the compliance policy to use with Intune. As I mentioned, there's two compliance policy settings, and these are the details you can go and read yourself and get familiar. If you have any question, you can come to this documentation, and also device compliance settings for Windows 10 and 11 Intune. It's in the documentation, also share in the below description. So let me go to under device, Windows, and here's compliance policy. So before going to do that, I'll jump in back to the endpoint security. Under endpoint security, if I come to device compliance, under compliance settings, this is the thin and white. These are settings configured the way compliance servers treat each device evaluate these as a built-in device compliance policy. So this is the thin and white. If marked device with no compliance policy is assigned as compliant, I'm going to make it non-compliant. If I have, I'm going to create a new compliance policy. Since I don't have any compliance policy, I'll mark my device as compliant, but I'm going to create those policies. So if they don't meet, mark them as a non-compliant. And also, this one is if the device is jailbroken, I'm going to disable that one. Compliance policy status variety periods. It's time period in which device must report the status for all received compliance policy. Devices that did not return the status within this time period are treated as non-compliant. So the default is 30 days. So I'm going to click Save. Now I'm going to go back to my device, Windows, and Compliance Policy. So here I create policy. Under platform, we have Windows 10 later and Windows 8 later. I'm going to select this one because I have the latest version of Windows 10. I'm going to click this test. You can name it anything you want. So here we have custom compliance. Okay, this is a new feature. It's currently in the preview. Device health, require BitLocker. Require BitLocker to be enabled the device. Okay, yes. We in the previous topic, I enabled BitLocker. If I come here to my one of device, if I go to This device, see, I enable BitLocker. Okay, required device properties. I'm not going this one. Here also I mentioned that configuration manager compliance require device compliance from configuration manager. So if you require, click choose require. So this device needs to be also my client needs to be also should be show. Let me go to control panel, open ECCM agent, and the configurations. See, I have these compliance, the baseline I deployed. So these all should come as a compliant. Right now, it's just a compliant. If one of them is not compliant, then at my in Intune will show as non-compliant. So this is an option you can use if you have a lot of compliance baseline using ECCM. System security require password encryption. Okay, then you can use firewall should be enabled. TPM module should be required. And if I go to Microsoft Defender, system security, and device properties. Okay, so I'll go with this one. You can choose, you can go work around with the other settings. Action for non-compliance. Mark device and non-compliance. It will, if it doesn't meet that requirement, it will mark as a non-compliant right away. You can also send an email to user. Then give it an then you select the message template and you also select another recipient. So I'm not going to go do that one. I'm just going to mark this non-compliant right away. I'm going to assign to all user. If you want to exclude some groups, you can do so. Okay. There you go. So now I create this compliance policy and I'm checking the device should be if the device disk is encrypted, should mark that device as compliant. Since I create this one, let me go to my client and I'm going to keep this down. I'm going to go to settings, accounts, access work, and let's see here, info. I'm going to click sync. See this one, we already, these are the policy we deployed last time, the BitLocker, data protection, defender, network isolation, security, and we also deployed applications, company portal. Okay, it's synced. Let me do one more. Probably take some times. I hope this one already run. I'm gonna run one more time because we changed the policy from ECCM to Intune. So now Intune can be able to check for the compliance. So, okay, let me open the company portal, signing in. And I'll, okay, my profile, device, can access, okay, let me go check this one. Okay, let me go back. So in here, if you click your device, under device status, check for access. This will look for the compliance. Okay, checking access to company resources, and now it's checking against the compliance we deployed and look if that compliance met. I hope the that policy already applied. Let me check one more time. Let's see, it doesn't show here yet. Still checking. Meantime, I'm gonna refresh this one. Let me, okay, here you go. Win 10, showing compliant. Okay, so why is not showing here? Okay, require BitLocker, compliant device 1. Okay. Let me refresh the page so that at the meantime I'm going to check my, still checking. Okay. It should show here. So if I click here, it takes me to the my device page in Intune. Now, if I check for compliance policy, device compliance, there you go. I have a test. The device configuration shows compliant. There you go. Required BitLocker compliant. That's great. So this one probably still will take time. And let me go back here. Device, checking access device resource. Okay, still checking, but they already reported back to the Intune. Okay, so now the next thing is I need to go back to the device. Let's go here. Okay, so now I need to go back to device. Here, conditional access. So here, conditional access, we can create a new policy. I'll give it access to Office 365. Okay, I'm not make sure not choose all users. I'm gonna select specific users, users and group. I have my group. All these users has the Intune license. Cloud apps or actions. I'm not gonna click all the apps. Make sure you're not gonna block yourself. I'm gonna choose Office 365. Conditions, we have user risk. If you wanna specify how the user risk is, you can choose a high, medium. You can use also sign-in risk, device platform. You can choose, okay, I want to configure this is only should be for Windows or any device, or I'll just only deploy to the Windows. Location, if you're targeting a specific location, any location, if you want restricting this condition access to a specific location, you can set that one. Client apps, how they're accessing, I'm not going to choose this one. Device state, is it should be hybrid or Azure AD join? I'm going to target all devices or not. I'm not going to choose this one. Either hybrid, if your requirement to only hybrid, you can do that. Then filter for devices, this is another option. I haven't used that. I'll probably come up with this topic later. I'll not select that one. So for the access, I'll grant access. So the device should be compliant as I show that compliance policy deployed. So device disk should be encrypted. And I'm gonna grant access, but I also require what's called, it should be hybrid Azure AD joint. Okay, I do have, but I don't want to do that. Then let's see, device required device to be marked compliant. This is very important thing. So it depends how you configure your conditional access. For me, it's very important that devices accessing my Office 365 application on the browser should have their device should be compliant. One of the this is requirement. Also, if you want, you can choose it should be hybrid Azure AD joined. So it should be local domain joined and also registered with Azure Intune. So here say don't log yourself out, make sure that your device is compliant. Okay, I'm gonna choose, okay, don't log yourself, make sure that your device is hybrid Azure AD joined. Yeah, this is very important. Okay, I'm gonna select this one. Session, there's another option for the session. Control access based on session controls to enable limited experience within a specific cloud application. You can I'll go through this option and see if that works. For the enable policy, this is read only. It will just audit and send the report. On, it will block the user. Off, it not apply the policy. So I'm gonna turn on, I'm gonna create. Security default must be disabled to enable conditional access. Where's that one? Let me take a look. Okay, I think it's related to my default Azure Active Directory security. If I navigate to my home here under portal Azure Active Directory, under properties, here and manage security defaults, I need to disable this one. Okay, now my organization is using conditional access. Okay, these are the default security that Microsoft uses on the background to manage the security on my environment. So now let me go and create. I think probably need to refresh this page. Okay. Okay. Strict Office 365. I'm gonna select the group Intune. Okay. Cloud apps. I'm gonna select Office 365. You can choose other application also. Conditions. I'm not gonna set any conditions. Sign-in risks. Access. Grant access, but require much compliant. Azure device joint. Select. I'm gonna click on. See, now it doesn't show me the error. Okay. Now I create it. There you go. That's good. Now, okay. Let me sync one more time. And oh, he is complete. Can access is still. So now my devices BitLocker is enabled. Let me see if I can manage BitLocker. Disable this. Suspend protection. Turn off. Let me do suspend. Turn off BitLocker. Let me do suspend. Click OK. Now let me go to Office 365 login. Okay, let me log in here, sign in. Okay, I selected that. Oh, still give me access. So still not yet. I need to do something else probably. So I need to mark this. Probably let me manage BitLocker, turn off BitLocker. Okay. Probably need to wait. Probably. Let me run one more time. I'm gonna pause till this finishes. Okay, the sync is completed. I think I forgot. I need to do. I made a small mistakes. If in the properties, come back to my compliance policy. I need to because since I should not choose this one. If I do choose this one, it's basically it's not looking that device is encrypted. It's looking that there's a policy asking user to enable BitLocker. So instead, I need to use this one and encryption, require encryption of data storage on device. So I made some changes here. I choose this option and I save and deploy the policy. Now, if I come back to my device, I run the sync. Then I came back to the company portal. When I run the check access, now it's showing me can't access company resources because it's showing encrypt your device. Let me run again. And I also have, same time I have another client. It's called Microsoft, it's my Windows 11. I'm running the sync and I'm going to my device. This device is also encrypted. Let me see. Yes, it is encrypted. Click my device. Okay, saying use Software Center to check if your device is allowed. So in Windows 11, I think I need to check Windows Software Center for compliance policy to check. But before doing that, okay, it's compliant. Okay, so now let me go to Office here, office.com. Okay, I'm able to access here because my device is and BitLocker is enabled. Now, if I look for go back to my Windows 10, still checking. We can see here my device is not encrypted, but if I go to, should I wait for this one? This one probably takes some time. But same time I can, let's check the office.com. It's asking to sign in. Here you go. This device does not meet your organization compliance requirement. Open your organization device management portal to take action. Okay, there you go. Now I can see some more details here because it doesn't meet the requirement because my device is not encrypted. This will come and show us it's not doesn't meet requirement. Now if I come here, refresh my page, I look for device status. Still not yet. I need to probably wait here. Okay, so I'll wait here. So let me go to the devices, conditional access, under sign in. Let's see, it will show, see this one? User one, home, office home, status showing failure, and this is my location failure. And this one I used my different devices, Windows 11. Let me bring CMD, MI, see, this is admin. And if I come here, CMD, MI, it's user one. So user one was failure, Windows 10, because the encryption was not enabled. SCCM admin, as was Windows 11, it was successful. So now we know it's working correctly. Now if I check here, I can see this one, device is not not in required device state. Conditional access policy required compliant device. Okay, so you can troubleshoot more here and get this. Find more details. Device information. Look, you can have see my device is hybrid Azure AD joint. Okay, conditional access required compliant device here. If I click here, it takes me to the policy name. Now, if I go back here, still checking. At the beginning, see if once you disable the BitLocker, after a couple minutes, the policy runs, and since we deployed the configuration policy to enable BitLocker, it keeps coming. Now, if I click on that one, it's asking could I can re-enable the BitLocker. I can go manually right-click here to run a BitLocker. So I can go here. Now save to your cloud admin. It's gonna save it to Azure AD. Okay, next. Start encrypting. So once this finished, now you see it's giving this option, right? So let's wait. But I still need to run the, once this finished, let it finish. I'm gonna pause here. Okay, it's complete now. Let me close. Let me run the sync again. And let's check the access again. I know sometimes it takes a while for this one. So I run the policy. Let me try refresh the page. Sign out your account. Let me close this. Open again. Sign in. Okay, still it needs to, I need to wait this completes this access. Okay. We need to wait a couple minutes. Just it will send the updated policy back to the Azure AD. Okay, it's completed. Let me refresh. what's doing it? Okay. Device compliance. Okay. Checking for compliance. Okay. So I need to wait this it sends the updated data back to Azure AD, but here we can go to portal, Windows, device, Win10. See here, it also shows here that this is not compliant. So this needs to come as a compliant. See this one? This still needs to show as a compliant here. Compliance policy, still showing device not evaluated. Let me go here, run the sync. Okay, let me back here. I'm gonna sign out. Okay. What happened? Okay. Let's run the sync. Let me open the company portal. Signing in. Go to device. Okay, still checking the access. Let me come here. Compliance, device compliance. Still not evaluated yet. Let me, no data yet. So I need to wait. The data comes up, then I'll pause. I'll be back. Okay, so after I had to sign out, sign in, and open the company portal. Now I can see that I can have access the company resources. So if I see the BitLocker is enabled, now let's go to office.com. Now here you go. I can access the Office 365. So basically, we need to wait a little more time. It takes more than a couple of minutes actually. That the policy, once we reconfigure device to enable BitLocker, and after BitLocker is completed, you have to wait, give it more time to that it sends the updated policy back to Intune, so it will update in the settings. And once it shows this is check access, come here and see it's green, and you see it says can access company resources. So you can then you can access your device is compliant now. The other thing is I just found out if I go to under device, Windows, compliance policy, acquire BitLocker, device states. See, now it's showing compliant. But here I see this device. This is my Windows 11. It says not applicable. I'm gonna basically I want to apologize. Looks like this policy is not applicable with the Windows 11. I need to check further about this. Even though I take opportunity of the timing. I disabled this BitLocker, and if I go open the company portal and look for to check for the compliance, go my device and open the software center and check for the compliance, and it comes compliant. Now if I go to access the Office 365, and it does giving me access, so it means that this is not applicable with Windows 11. I need to double check on that one. why it's showing, why I'm thinking it's not applicable. So I'll find out and probably update, create another video tutorial for this one. So why it's showing twice? Because I log in with my other user too. Then since this device is registered for user one, if you log in with different user, you will not get full capability. So you will get a message that this device is registered for this user, and you still can use as limited. Some function features will be limited. So now it's showing compliant. Let me go here and look for device compliance. Now it's showing all compliance. Require BitLocker. So it's showing two users. Yeah, that's because I logged in there. Now if I go to, let me go back to device, conditional access. If I check for sign-in logs, now I'd probably see user one now have access. See, it's showing now success. We've seen user one was failure. Here you go. So it's now success. It's showing. We can also see the compliance policy under endpoint security under device compliance. You will see same policy we created here. You can also access it here. This is the compliance policy settings. It's a tan and white. I mentioned, I discussed at the beginning, but you can also see here, and let's here. So here's one place for all your endpoint security. This is also part of. You can also see the conditional access. You can directly come in and get access to conditional access and compliance policy in one spot. This is the now let's go back to the Microsoft 365 compliance portal. Let me refresh. Let me log in with my account. See this one because I included my device needs to be compliant. So let me go back and let's see. Because this is my personal device, it's not joint. What I can do is if I come here, let me make it full screen. Not this one actually, it's here. See, enhance session and full screen. And let me see. Why is not coming here? Let's see if I can do this way. Yeah. It's compliance.microsoft.com. See this one. Okay, it's saying I don't have a license. Let's see, it's fine. See this one. It's showing your compliance score. These are the score I have. I see. Let me go to compliance manager so I can have better visibility. Close it. It's loading. Okay, I think I have some problem. What can I do is, let me go back here. Let me remove the conditional access here. Actually, I'm just gonna remove the group users. I'm gonna select this one, remove. And I'm gonna only add the user 1, 2, only these ones. Okay, so now I should be able to access this one. Ah, this is another issue. I need to wait couple more times, give it a couple more minutes that the policy get populated here. So it should refresh. Those take some time. What I will do here, let me see if I can log in from here with different user. Sign out. Okay. This is the account, have full access. Okay. We add the password. No. Let's see. Okay. I think I probably have a license issue since I don't have the correct license. Let's see. It should. See, okay, yeah, there's something is wrong. So basically, this is the Microsoft 365 Compliance Manager is where you can see your compliance score based on the regulatory. You can add or use existing government regulatory compliance policy that will run against your devices and will give you some like this kind of score that it gives you a score and it shows that the security that the devices met with those compliance policy. So it gives you the list of security items that is currently compliant with device, and also the items that is not compliant with device. It gives you what item is you need to take action. For example, your device BitLocker is not enabled. For example, our guest password, guest access is enabled. Our security hold is you need to take action on those ones. If once you get action fixed or apply to security one by one, your scores improves and your scores goes up and it shows the improvement till you meet 100%. So basically, it's a good idea. It's another tips from that will help you help your organization to meet those regulatory. So each organization is using following different regulatory. That's something you need to check. And under compliance manager, there's let's see, settings, device onboarding. I hope this should populate here. There's a section you can add more regulatory compliance policy. If you're familiar with the Microsoft Security Center, Microsoft Security Center uses also provides some available government regulatory compliance that you can enable against your environment and gives you some guidance how to improve your environment to meet those security. Looks like something wrong. I think I don't have probably the license, but let me one more time. Okay, now it's showing. See this one. I think the policy. I'm still need to wait. Give it more time that policy correctly applies. So that's why I had to wait for my decline. Assessments. If you come under assessments, let me show you the screenshots here. Here, So this is the actual score. It shows my environment. I took a snapshot and see, for example, enable server password reset. It's failed. It's a once you fix this issue, it gives you a point. And use boundary protection device, block this kind of ActiveX control, disable domain member, disable machine, enable consistent meme handling. Once you go and fix these items, the score will go up, and it depends which regulatory that government regulatory you're following. That's is here. For example, if you come to under assessment, if you click add assessment, select the template. Here, the regulatory, for example, these are the template included currently, and these are the premium. For example, if you see this one, NIC standard for safeguarding customer information. If there's each state has their regulatory. If I look for California, do I have California? Let's see. California. CIS implementation. Here you go, California Civil Code section, California Privacy Right Acts, CPR. So you can go whatever you need to check with your security team, cyber team, which regulatory organization needs to follow. Then you need to choose those ones. For example, Privacy Acts for Mac 65, click Save. Once you choose the template, then click Next. Assessment name, California Act Rights. Then you choose the group, click the group default groups. Okay, create assessments. So once you create an assessment, it will go against your devices and check your environment, all devices, and it will take some time. Then once you come back, you will see a list of the required items needs to be configured. And if they are already configured, then you have your scores. For example, your points achieved 0 out of 1074. Microsoft managed points achieved 45 out of 45 is not yet achieved. See this one, create media retention policy. Now it needs some times. Um, once it helps in terms of security. So let me go back to the compliance manager. Hope I can this time see more in details. But this is I know I don't have the license correctly. It's a part of Microsoft 365. Need to see this one. Your score compliance is 52%. 259 out of 11,377 score is achieved right now. I need to work more. View all improving actions. So these are the actions I need to take and improve security in my environment. Please take a look. I included this link in the documentation here. You can should we have if you have the correct license, you should have access. There you go. Yep, that's giving the which solution you need to use, Azure Active Directory, Azure data classifications. Yep. Please let me know if you have any question and concern regarding compliance policy. Please also check this documentation. Microsoft documentation is the right place to check any settings you want to get help. This is the first place I usually go. I really recommend everyone to use this one. Then you can look other places. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.